Good afternoon. My name is Sonia Cervantes, and today I'm representing Bonita Family Resource Center, and I'm going to talk to you about the program Comprando Rico y Sano, buying healthy and flavorful foods. Okay, so this is a program that promotes health-conscious grocery shopping and healthy eating. This program is brought to you by Unidos US, the organization, and it's sponsored and funded by the Walmart Foundation. Many of you have heard tons of information regarding healthy eating, and it could be really overwhelming, okay? So, healthy lifestyle, healthy eating, what does it really mean? And in reality, what we need to look at is a healthy lifestyle. It is a combination of healthy eating, physical activity, and healthy habits. Well, eating healthy is eating fruits and vegetables, eating the right combination of foods, meaning protein, lean protein, healthy fats, not eating a lot of processed foods. We're going to go into detail as we go along with the presentation. But I wanted to share with you that healthy eating is one portion of it. Physical activity is another portion of it, because most of us would think, okay, what is physical activity? You don't have to run a marathon. When we talk about exercise or movement, what's the best exercise out there? Well, in reality, the best exercise is the one you will do. So it could mean something different to you than it means to me. Maybe you like to walk. Maybe I like to run. Maybe for other people, playing tennis or doing skateboarding or riding a bicycle, whatever it is, or even dancing, right? Zumba or salsa, whatever it is, you want to do whatever you like and whatever suits you for your lifestyle and then, you know, your capacity of moving, because you don't want to injure yourself. And also, taking care of yourself is part of it. And basically what that means is stress management, relaxing, finding the time to take care of yourself, basically, sleep well, healthy habits. Having a healthy lifestyle, what does that mean? Sounds great. How do we do it? Well, physical, mental, and social wellness is important for us and for our families. Okay, so during our conversation in this session, you're going to learn how to make it easy. I will be talking about small changes in your eating habits and portions that could actually help you be healthier. And this is all brought by this Comprando Rico y Sano presentation. Okay, we're going to also talk a little bit about the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program that is known as SNAP. So it's because of the acronym Nutrition Assistance Program, that's SNAP. And we're going to talk a little bit about how you can become eligible for that program. How do we make this easier? Okay, well, healthy body means that we have the right nutrients in our body. If you think about our body is like a car. We need fuel, we need oil, we need water. Well, our bodies are very similar. We need macronutrients. The macronutrients are carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. And of course, we need water. And the way we want to find a balance of all of those is to have the right portions in place. It is really helpful that we look at My Plate. This is actually an amazing tool. You can go to the website choosemyplate.gov actually, and I can show you a little example of what the portions mean and the proportions between macronutrients. And we're going to go a little bit more into detail for that. But for now, what I want you to understand is that My Plate is going to give you ideas on what to eat from the different food groups. We all need those food groups, okay? And as you can see, hopefully you can appreciate this either in the plate or in the graphic. The proportions is that we eat half of our plate full of fruits and vegetables. And the first quarter of our plate to eat grains, and the other quarter of our plate to eat protein. And of course, having dairy or, we'll go into the details if you don't have dairy, how to intake calcium with other sources of non-dairy options. We want to eat a variety of foods, moderate portions, and limit the amount of saturated fats, sugars, and sodium. And again, we'll go into the details. Let's start with vegetables, okay? So why do you think doctors recommend eating a lot of vegetables? Vegetables are important for you. Vegetables provide minerals and vitamins. Vitamins like A, C, K, folic acid, and also minerals like magnesium and potassium, amongst other, okay? They're also full of fiber. They're a whole food. So they keep you fill faster. That way will help you if you're trying to lose weight or if you're trying to maintain weight. So you get filled faster, okay? So we're talking about, you know, broccoli, spinach, tomatoes, all kinds of vegetables. The idea is to buy fresh vegetables if you can find them and within season. Why? Because we want them to have a lot of nutrients, okay? So when we don't buy them locally, they might be depleted of nutrients. The other idea is to buy them seasonal because they are less expensive. So we have to integrate more into our diet. How do we do that? Well, if you always buy certain kind of vegetables, maybe the idea is to try a different vegetable per week. And then that way you keep adding into your diet some vegetables, okay? The more colors you have, the more nutrients you have, because each color represents a benefit to your body. The idea is to have at least, on vegetables, 2.5 cups of vegetables per day. So this is a cup, and this is a half. 2 of this and 1 of this per day. How do you add them into your diet in an easy way? Well, you can add them in breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or even snacks, right? You can make an omelet with a bunch of vegetables. You can have a salad, obviously, a soup. You can puree them. You can add them to your smoothies. You can make a pasta salad with a bunch of vegetables. And you can try not to do anything fried or oily. You can saute them in water. You don't have to have oil. You can grill them. You can bake them. You can eat them raw as a snack. Okay, so there are many, many ways that you can integrate vegetables in your day. Okay, let's talk about fruits now. Fruits. Why is it important to eat fruits? Okay, same reason for the vegetables. They are whole food. They're full of nutrients. The more variety and colors you eat, the better for your body, okay? So same thing, they have a ton of vitamins and minerals. Amongst the vitamins, obviously, vitamin C, vitamin A. They have potassium, folic acid, and very important, most fruits are loaded with fiber, but they also have natural sugars, natural occurring sugars. Now, sugars are not necessarily bad for you as long as they're natural sugars. So the sugars in the fruit are natural sugars, and they are also mixed with fiber. If you are struggling with controlling your sugar because you're diabetic or pre-diabetic, then perhaps a recommendation is to have a little more vegetables than fruits. Still, fruits are good for you. And we're craving something sweet Well, perhaps instead of having dessert, perhaps we can have a fruit. Perhaps we can have an orange or a mandarin or banana or grapes, even for your kids, for the family. Put them out there. Don't leave them in the refrigerator where people are thinking, oh, well, I really don't want to go to the fridge. And, the chips are, within distance, so it's easier to grab chips than to grab food. So put them in the table as a centerpiece. And believe me, you will eat them. Apples, grapes, whatever you can think of. Same thing, buy them seasonal. If you cannot find them within the season, you can always buy them frozen. Frozen is better than canned. At least it's not as processed. So that's an option too. How much do we need to eat of those a day? Well, the recommendation is to do 2 cups of fruit are recommended per day. Okay, 2 of this. So if you remember, for vegetables is 2 cups and a half a cup, so 2 and a half. For fruits is only 2 cups. And if you look at our plate, it's part of the half and half fruits and vegetables. Another thing before I move on to the grains is on the fruits, because they have sugar, make sure, natural sugars of course, make sure that you buy or you eat the whole fruit. When you buy juice, sometimes the juice has a lot of sugar or sugar added to it. So when you buy that wonderful, delicious orange juice or cranberry juice or whatever juice it is, read the label. And we're going to go into the reading the labels a little later, but just pay attention to that. Pay attention to the contents of the sugar. So moving on, grains. Why are grains important? Okay, so grains are the wheat, the rice, the oatmeal, the corn. They are important because they represent fiber for our bodies. Okay, they are very nutritious, and they also have vitamins and minerals. They have vitamin B, they have iron, and they are actually good to protect us against colon cancer because fiber is very helpful to our digestive tract and to our intestines. So how can we do this? How can I have more grains in my diet? And again, whole grains preferably, okay? So when we say whole grains, we're talking about brown rice versus white rice. We're talking about anything that has 100% whole grains. Like if you buy a cereal, make sure it says whole grain, which has the whole fiber in there, the pasta, okay? And how do we save money buying that? Well, maybe we can save money by buying in bulk. So if you buy oatmeal, you try to stick to not the rolled oats that come, or the quick oats that come microwavable, because some of those instant oatmeal, they have a lot of sugar. So stick with steel cut or even rolled oats, but that they are not stripped of the fiber, okay? Not the instant ones that are, 2 minutes in the microwave. How much should I eat? Okay, well, it is recommended that we eat 5 or 7 ounces from this group per day. How do I visualize ounces? Okay, well, I can tell you this is 7 ounces, and this is brown rice. It's approximately the size of a closed fist. So as you can see, is the size of my fist. So that's the way you can visualize it instead of trying to be so perfect with the weight. Okay, let's talk about proteins now. Proteins are a great, they're great for our bodies, right? They help us with the development of our bones, our muscles, our cartilage, our skin, and our blood. So they are necessary for the function of our organs. They contain amino acids, vitamin B, vitamin E, iron, zinc, and magnesium. How can we add more proteins into our diet? Well, first of all, you want to stick with, if you eat animal protein, you want to stick to lean meats. Preferably less red meat, more white meat, chicken, fish, lean meats. And if you do not eat animal protein, then you can add it through legumes, beans, all kinds of beans, pinto beans, kidney beans, lentils, garbanzo beans, all kinds of legumes. Yes, the other thing is peanut butter, right? Cooked beans. Portions. How much should I eat in protein? For most people, because it depends on your level of activity, but for most people, it is recommended that you eat between 5 or 6 ounces of protein a day. 2 portions, basically, right? A day. So let me show you what those look like. This is 3 ounces. This is the size of a steak, 3 ounces. As you can see, it's the size of the palm of my hand. So it's not this huge portion. An egg. This is chicken breast. Piece of salmon, salmon fillet. So the portions are pretty small. Or not small, but actually the appropriate size that you should be eating. Dairy products. What happens with dairy products? It's our milk, our yogurts, our cheese, anything dairy, okay? It provides calcium, potassium, vitamin D, and proteins. Calcium being huge for bone strength. How can I do it? How can I add more dairy into my diet? Well, some of us that are lactose intolerant, gotta be careful with that. So if you do not drink dairy or animal milk, then there are other options out there like soy milk, almond milk, cashew milk, oat milk, pea milk. So there are different options out there that have been enriched with calcium and vitamin D. Okay, that's just in case you cannot drink milk. If you do drink milk or eat cheese or anything dairy, make sure it's either fat-free or 1%. And same thing applies to the cheese and the yogurt, low fat or no fat at all, okay? How much? Well, 3 cups of dairy products per day, or this is cheese, 3 ounces of cheese per day. That's it, no more. Because this might not look like a lot of cheese, but if it's melted, you sometimes don't realize how much cheese you eat. So this is the recommendation, no more than this. 1 cup of milk of yogurt or 1.5 to 2 ounces of cheese equals 1 portion, okay? And again, if you're lactose intolerant, there are other options out there. Oils. Oils are important because they're part of our healthy fats. What we want is to control our portions, not eat a lot of them. And of course, steer away from saturated fats. So what are the best oils? Okay, the best oils, olive oil and canola oil. Olive oil being the best in the sense that it has antioxidants and anti-inflammatory properties. And it's actually, there's been some research that has been able to help lower levels of bad cholesterol. Now, even if that is a healthy oil, the portions that we use have to be very small. And we should be consuming no more than 5 or 6 teaspoons, you guys can see, teaspoons per day. And you can always consult your doctor about this, depending on what your situation is. Obviously, try not to fry any foods. You can steam them, you can grill them, you can roast them. And pay attention also to processed foods, because processed foods, desserts, they have a lot of oils. Like the moister the cookie is, the higher the fat. And that's because it has a lot of oil. And sugars. What happens with sugars? Well, most of us eat more than what we should. Unfortunately, sugar is hidden everywhere. And I'm talking about sugar that is added. I'm not talking about natural occurring sugars, which we already discussed during the foods. So carbohydrates we need is one of the macronutrients. Our body needs it as our fuel. But if it comes from added sugars, that is not good for us. So sugars will cause problems with obviously diabetes and obesity and other issues that we do not want to have. Okay, so how much sugar should we eat? Well, very little. And we're going to go back to the teaspoon. Okay, so the recommendation is to eat no more than 6 to 9 of this per day. Per day. Now, you might not really think this is a lot, but the reality is once we get to the labels, if you start reading labels, these teaspoons, there are things like a Coke, Coca-Cola, a can of Coke, or I don't know, juice, bottle of juice, that have like 10 of this. And that's not good, okay? Because by then we already blew the amount of sugars we were supposed to eat in a day, or in 2 days, or in 3 days in one drink. So pay attention to that. Okay, the other thing is we need to pay attention because sometimes it's hidden in the ingredients. It has different names. I'll give you some: glucose, corn syrup, sugarcane juice, molasses, sucrose, dextrose, fructose, malt syrup, tons. I mean, there's like 50 plus different names for sugar. And you can find sugar in ketchup and salad dressings and anything that you get that is processed that you think is healthy, you can find out through reading labels. And this is exactly what we're going to. We are going to talk about labels right now. How do you read a label? What is the first thing that you look into when you look into a label? And at the beginning, I used to say calories. That's the first thing I look into. I want to see how many calories. Well, here's the thing. That's fine. But what you should be looking at is the amount of servings. Because if it says that it's only 100 calories and there's 3 servings per package, that means if I eat the whole package, it's 300 calories, not 100. You got to multiply. And you got to multiply each of the ingredients. So what do you want to focus on? You want to focus, obviously, in the servings and less of the sugars, less of the fat, less of the sodium, more of protein, and more of fiber. So those are the things that you want to look for in a label. Also, what you want to look into a label is the ingredient size, which is the smaller version, the smaller paragraph over here. If you have more than 10 ingredients, that is a very processed food. If you see names that you cannot pronounce, that is a very processed food. So pay attention to that. That is important. So what we recommend in this program is for you guys to start preparing healthy meals at home. Now, this is a perfect time to talk about this because most of us are cooking more at home. Why is it important to prepare home-cooked healthy meals? Okay, because we can control what we eat. We can save money. We can control the quality of what we eat, and we can control the portions. Now, from another standpoint, you will be spending quality time with your family. So preparing simple and healthy meals, you would be filling the plate with whole grains, which we discussed, fruits, vegetables, and serve proteins and dairy products in smaller portions. Do not fry them, don't add more salt, more sugar, and drain or remove fat and control the size of your portions. That's in summary. Okay, let's talk about the SNAP program, which is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. This program is the program that helps people buy food during times when income is low. So there are some requirements that need to be met before you become eligible. But you can call Bonita Family Resource Center and they'll be able to help you and give you all the guidelines and guide you through the steps and the process to apply for the program. Okay? But it's going to be helping you buying nutritious foods, fruits, vegetables, meat, dairy, fish, bread, water, baby food, and even seeds and plants to grow your own food. So I think that's just an amazing program. Like I said, Bonita Family Resource Centers will be able to give you information in regards to the eligibility requirements. And this is it for me. I want to thank you for your attention. And I want to thank Unidos US, the organization that put together this program, Comprando Rico y Sano, and that was made possible by the generous grant from Walmart Foundation. Again, this is brought to you by Bonita Family Resource Center. Thank you.